can't hide and try to fight and get it right. He sent his word for us to live by. Keep his commandments just so that you won't die. Don't you profane his name, pollute the Sabbath day. Put on a whole new mind, that is the godly way. Harden not your heart today. You hear the voice of the Lord in heaven. Follow me, thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as in heaven. Give us this day. I wanna walk like you, talk like you, live like you, think like you, walk in truth. Give us this day.
Well, we're going to read the law. Let's go to Exodus, the 20th chapter. We're going to pick it up at verse 1. And brother hollered the law. Exodus 20, and let's pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
And what's wrong with if we do that, boy, this world will be a utopia.
Yes, it will.
Let's
brother.
go to Ecclesiastes 12, and we're going to read verse 13 and 14. Let us hear the conclusion. Go ahead and read.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Let's go to Revelations 22. Let's go to Revelations 22, and we're going to pick it up at verse 14 and 15. Revelations 22 and verse 14 and 15. Go ahead and read.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Boy, if we did these commandments, boy, we would be able to live and leave our doors unlocked.
That's right.
We never have to. You know, we always deal with the Bible by subject and title. So today's title is Jacob and Esau, because the average person, they think they know who Jacob is, but don't nobody know who Esau is. Because I'm going to tell you, it's been identity theft.
That's right, brother.
It's been a real identity theft, and somebody done stole our identity. And you know what we need to do? We need to run them down. Who is the one that stole our identity? Who is this brother Jacob and Esau, his brothers? Who is Esau? Where did he migrate to? Where is he at? We know who Jacob is, but don't nobody know who Esau is. So what we gonna do, let's go to when these twin, because Jacob and Esau is twin brothers. I know some of my Hebrew brothers say, you know, Esau is the white man. If Esau the white man, he your twin brother. He your twin brother if Esau is the white man. So let's go back to the beginning and even go back in the womb when these brothers was in the womb. Let's start this in Genesis 25. Genesis 25, and we go pick it up at verse 20. Let's go back all the way back when these twin boys was in the womb, because we've been struggling with some people. And I'm telling you, it's been an old saying. I know my mama said it. I got to go and pay them Jews. They've been hard on Israel.
That's right.
And I'm going to tell you, they the ones that done stole our identity too. It's identity theft. And we need to find out who did it. Genesis 25, and let's pick it up at verse 20. Let's go back, way back with Isaac's wife, Rebekah, when these boys was in the womb, and let's see what they was doing in the womb, people. Genesis 25, let's pick it up at verse 20. Go ahead and read.
And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian.
Go ahead.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren.
You know Isaac, I guess he was trying, so he went in and treated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. She couldn't have no children. Go ahead and read.
And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Okay, she got pregnant. Go ahead.
And the children struggled together within her.
You mean to tell me even in the womb? Because everybody say, why the blacks and the Jews can't get along? Here we are in the womb with our twin brother who is Esau. And you know what we doing in the womb? We fighting in the womb. This fight didn't start when we came out the womb. This fight started inside the womb. Go ahead and read.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
He said, the Lord said unto Rebekah, you got 2 different nations in thy womb. Go ahead and read.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
He said 2 manner of people gonna be separated from your bowels. Go ahead.
The one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Remember that. The Lord called this right here. He said that the elder was going to serve the younger. Whenever you get a blessing, it was always the elder got the blessing. But in this case, the Lord made the call. He said the elder is going to serve the younger. Go ahead and read.
When her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Yeah, see, they twins. Even though they 2 different nations, they twin brothers. Go ahead and read.
And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
See, my elder, the Hebrew brothers, they say, see, he came out red all over like a hairy garment. So that's the white man right there. Well, I wonder who is the Gentile if he the white man. But because this brother right here is definitely Semitic because he comes out of Isaac. And his name was called Esau. Go ahead.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Go ahead.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
And look at the attributes that Esau have. He's still the same way today.
That's
He's
right.
a cunning hunter, and he a man of the field. The field is the world. And don't nobody make money like my twin brother, Esau.
That's right.
Whenever we in trouble, the first thing you say, I got to go and get me a lawyer. And who you usually get? A Jew. What verse you at?
At the middle of 27.
27 again. Go ahead.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
You ask Jacob, Jacob, what you gonna do? Man, I'm going to the crib. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm finna go and watch the basketball. Why Esau, that cunning hunter, he the man of the field. He always on that business thing. Go ahead and read.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Boy, the Lord really working this thing. Not only did the Lord say the elder was going to serve the younger, he even going to have Esau to sell his birthright. The Lord is working this thing right here. What verse you at?
That was the end of 31.
Go ahead and read.
And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Because they always told me Jacob stole Esau's birthright. He has always told me, you know, Jacob is the supplanter. He stole Esau's birthright. Look like Esau sold his birthright right here to me.
Me too.
Go ahead and read. What verse?
Verse 33.
Go ahead.
And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore to him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
Because everybody always told me coming up that Jacob stole Esau's birthright. We just want to make sure that Esau sold that birthright. Let's go to Hebrews 12. Let's go to Hebrews 12. And we go pick it up at verse 14. Hebrews 12 and 14. Let's just make sure that Esau sold that birthright. Hebrews 12. And we go pick it up at verse 14, because this is one thing we need to do to all men. Follow peace. Hebrews 12, and we go pick it up at verse 14. Go ahead and read.
Follow peace with all men and holiness.
He said, follow peace with all men and holiness. Go ahead.
Without which no man shall see the Lord.
Go ahead.
Looking diligently, lest any man fall of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
Go ahead.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Oh, so the book told you that Esau sold his birthright. You mean Jacob did not steal Esau's birthright?
No, he didn't.
Esau sold his birthright for what? A morsel of meal. Now it's time to mete out the blessing. Boy, I know Esau gonna say, look, Daddy, I know I'm the firstborn, but I sold my birthright to Jacob. Let Jacob come in there and get the blessing. Let's see what Esau do. Let's go to Genesis 27. It's time to mete out the blessing now, and let's see what happened. Genesis 27, and we go pick it up at verse 1. Isaac is old, his eyes is dim, now he can't see. Now it's time for him to mete out the blessing. He wanted to get a blessing to Esau, but Rebekah gonna chime in, and let's see what Rebekah gonna do. Genesis 27, and let's pick it up at verse 1. Genesis 27 and verse 1. Go ahead and read.
And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I.
Go ahead.
And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, that quiver in thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison.
Go ahead.
And make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die.
So it looked like Esau should have said, wait, Dad, I'll tell you what I did. I messed up. I done sold my birthright for a morsel of meal. He didn't say that. He going to get that blessing if he can.
Yes, he is.
Go ahead and read.
And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son.
Now Rebekah is laying there in the cut listening to what Isaac told Esau. Go ahead and read.
And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it.
Because you remember, Esau is a cunning hunter. He is a man of the field. He always got to go out and hunt for some food. He ain't never got nothing really stored up. So he had to go out and hunt for some food. Go ahead and read.
And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speaking to Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord, before my death.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to that which I command thee.
Now Rebekah done chimed in. Hey, she done told Jacob, obey my voice according to all that I command thee. Go ahead and read.
Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth.
Remember, the Lord already done let you know that the elder was going to serve the younger.
Right.
And look, watch Rebekah, how she chime in on this. Go ahead and read.
And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death.
Go ahead.
And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man.
Go ahead.
My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing.
Jacob is kind of saying, well, I don't know about this, mama. My brother Esau is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man. I be like a deceiver, and I bring a curse on me and not a blessing. Let's see what Rebekah say. Go ahead.
And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse,
She said, upon me be thy curse. Go ahead.
Only obey my voice and go fetch me them.
She knew wasn't no curse going to be on her. You know why she knew? Because when she went to inquire of the Lord let her know that 2 nations is in thy womb. And the elder was going to serve the younger. She knew wasn't no curse going to come on her. You know why? Because she had the inside track.
That's right.
Because the Lord had already told her that the elder was going to serve the younger. She knew wasn't no curse going to come on her. She already knew. Because she the one that went to inquire of the Lord. It was her and the Lord. Go ahead and read. What verse you at?
Verse 14.
Go ahead.
And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved.
Go ahead.
And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son.
Why would you put the clothes of Esau on Jacob? Because, you know, when we was young, we ran outside all day. And when you came in the house, your mama said, go in there and take a shower, boy, because you smell like the outside. So what? It's a certain smell that Esau had from running outside in the field all day. So now what the Lord do? Had Rebekah on the case.
Yes, he did.
Let me grab some of his clothes and put them on Jacob so he can have a certain smell. Go ahead and read.
And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck.
Because he's a hairy man and Jacob is a smooth man. Go ahead and read.
And she gave the savory meat and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob.
What verse you at?
That was the end of 17.
Let's drop down to verse 25. Let's drop down to verse 25. Here go Jacob is in front of Isaac, his father. Verse 25, go ahead and read.
And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank.
Go ahead, because here it is, Jacob getting the blessing here. Go ahead and read.
And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which the Lord has blessed.
Boy, he getting the blessing, boy. While Esau still running around there trying to hunt. Jacob on the inside getting the blessing. Go ahead and read.
Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven.
Go ahead.
And the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine.
Boy, we did have the fatness of the earth at one time. Did the Lord bless us, boy? If we only knew what we fell from, we should cry.
That's right, brother.
Go ahead and read verse 29.
Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee.
This is what Isaac is telling Jacob. Go ahead.
Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting.
Uh-oh, here come Esau. I can see Jacob now. Boy, hurry up and give me that blessing so I can get out of here. He got that blessing, I'm gone. And here come Esau. Go ahead and read.
Verse 31. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me.
It looked like Esau should have, from the beginning, told his daddy that the blessing went to Jacob.
That's right.
Go ahead and read.
And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou?
Boy, I bet he done gave up the blessing he can't see. I bet who are you?
That's right.
Go ahead and read.
And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau.
Go ahead.
And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who?
I bet he said, who? Boy, I done gave the blessing to the wrong one. But it was really the right one.
That's right. That's what the Lord said.
Go ahead.
Where is he that has taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yeah, and he shall be blessed.
When Isaac gave that blessing to Jacob, he couldn't turn that blessing around. He couldn't say, you know what? No, get Jacob in here. I'm turning this blessing around. No, he couldn't do it. He said, and he shall be blessed. Go ahead.
And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, my father.
Boy, that was good. Go ahead and read.
And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and has taken away thy blessing.
He said, your brother have came with subtlety, and he took away your blessing. Go ahead and read.
And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright.
You sold the birthright, bro. Tell the truth now. He didn't take away your birthright. You know what you did? You sold your birthright. Go ahead and read.
And behold, now he has taken away my blessing.
And the blessing wasn't supposed to go to you either.
That's right.
The Lord had said the elder shall serve the younger. So everything is in order right here. Go ahead and read.
And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
Let's see the blessing that Esau gonna get. Go ahead. As
He-
this blessing is gonna follow Esau for the rest of his life. And we need to pay attention to this blessing. Verse 38, go ahead and read.
And Esau said unto his father, Is thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Go ahead.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Esau, behold, your dwelling is going to be what? The fatness of the earth. When it comes to making money, it ain't no better. It ain't no better than our twin brother Esau, the man who the world recognizes the Jew.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and read.
And of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live.
And everywhere this man go, he lived by the sword. And by him living by the sword, so everybody say, oh, he's getting slighted because he's the Jew. No, Esau's supposed to live by the sword. Go ahead. I mean, he can fight too. I hate to say it, but ask the Arabs, can he fight? He tearing them to pieces. That little bitty old state of Israel. He's saying, by thy sword shall thou live. Go ahead.
And shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion.
Uh-oh, he got the dominion right now, people. Go ahead.
That thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Esau then broke Jacob's yoke from off his neck. Now he have the dominion. And you could go to 2 Samuel 8 and 14 and find out when he broke that yoke off his neck. Go ahead and read.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing? Remember, we was fighting this brother even in the womb. Our age-old fight have been with our brother Esau. He say, verse 41 again. Go ahead.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
And he's been hating us ever since. Now, if it's identity theft, you know what we got to do? We got to get Jacob in captivity then. Let's go to Jeremiah 6. Let's go to Deuteronomy 12. Let's start letting the Lord give us a warning. If we didn't keep these laws and these statutes, what was going to happen to us? As we got to get Jacob in captivity. And then we're going to put Esau right in the land. We're going to show you when he went there, how long he been there, and what he did to keep that land. Deuteronomy 12, and let's pick it up at verse 29. Deuteronomy 12 at verse 29. Let's look at some of the warnings that the Lord gave us as a nation. If we went and start serving other gods, what would happen to us? 29, go ahead and read.
When the Lord thy God shall cut off the nations from before thee.
That's when he take us in the land of Canaan. He gonna cut off the nations from before us. Go ahead.
Whether thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them.
Now you took over in the land of Canaan. Go ahead.
And dwellest in their land.
Go ahead.
Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them.
Well, why is you gonna follow the people that you just took over their land? Why follow them? Because God didn't help them. He didn't stop them from Jacob taking over their land. So why you gonna inquire about their God? And you the one got the true and living God. Ain't nobody like us. Here it is, you done took over their land. Their God couldn't help them, but you want to inquire about their God. Verse 30 again. Go ahead and read.
Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods,
Why
saying,
would you inquire after their gods and the God of Israel just destroyed them? And then you gonna go in their land and require after their God. Boy, how silly can you be? Boy. Go ahead and read.
how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise.
Now you go holler, how did these nations serve their gods? I'm going to do the same thing. Go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God. For every abomination to the Lord which he hated have they done unto their God.
And you see what we start doing. We start doing every abomination on planet Earth that the Canaanites is doing, even to the God of Israel. This is a warning he given us. Go ahead and read.
For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their God.
Go ahead. That's good. Let's keep going. Let's look at these warnings the Lord given us. Let's go to 1 Kings 9. Let's keep going. 1 Kings 9. 1 Kings 9. I see it. Let's go to 1 Kings, the 9th chapter. And we're going to pick it up at verse 6. 1 Kings 9 and 6. We just looking at the warnings the Lord given us. When you go in the land, don't you start serving pagan gods unless in the land is going to spew you out too. And look at it. It done spewed us out so bad we don't even know who we are.
You gonna skip Jeremiah?
I skipped Jeremiah. I did. Let's go to Jeremiah then. We ain't skipping nothing. Jeremiah 16, and we go pick it up at verse 10. I really thought I read that. Jeremiah 16, thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
No problem.
That's why you're up here.
All right, bro.
I'm just wondering about that crying you was finna do, though. Jeremiah.
I got into the spirit.
Oh, thank you, bro. Stay there. Stay in that spirit. Jeremiah 16, and we go pick it up at verse 10. We just looking at the warnings the Lord gave us when we went in the land, people. You got to warn this people. They go in there and mess up. You warned them, they still messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah 16, let's pick it up at verse 10. Go ahead and read.
And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore has the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us?
You go tell the people, why have the Lord pronounced all this great evil on us? What have we done? Go ahead and read.
Or what is our iniquity? Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our God?
Go ahead. This is what you tell them. Go ahead.
Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshiped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law.
And then we still don't keep the law.
No, don't.
You go to a church and you still don't keep the law, and that's what got you kicked out the land. Serving other gods and not keeping the law.
That's right.
It's the warning the Lord given Israel. Go ahead and read.
And ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart, that they may not hearken unto me.
Ooh, that's bad. He said, you have done worse than your fathers. You walk every one of you after the imagination of his evil heart, that ye may not hearken unto me. That's our downfall, people. You want to know your downfall? Here it is. Go ahead and read.
Therefore will I cast you out of this land.
He said, because you serving these other gods, I'm going to have to cast you out of this land. Go ahead and read.
Therefore I will cast you out of this land into a land that you know not, neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I would not show you favor.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. That's why he said, therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that you know not, neither ye nor your fathers, and there ye shall serve other gods day and night, and I ain't going to show you no favor. You don't get no breaks, Israel, because you the only one that had the true and living God, and you threw him away. That's why the Lord say, I ain't going to show you no favor to what you done did. This is just a warning, people. Let's keep going. Now let's go into 1 Kings, the 9th chapter. Let's just look at this warning. The Lord warned us by all his servants, the prophets, and we still messed up. Boy. 1 Kings 9, and we go pick it up at verse 6. 1 Kings 9, and let's pick it up at verse 6. Let's just look at these warnings the Lord gave us. 1 Kings 9 and 6. Go ahead and read.
But if ye shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes, which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them.
So he told you, if you go and start serving these other gods, hey, I'm going to cut you out of the land that I gave you. Look where we at. The Lord been warning us and warning us and warning us. Go ahead and read.
And this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out of my sight. And Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people.
Go ahead.
And at this house, which is high, everyone that passeth by shall be astonished and shall hiss. And they shall say, why has the Lord done thus unto this land and to this house?
And let's see what they're going to say. Go ahead.
And they shall answer, because they forsook the Lord their God.
This is why he brought all this evil on us. He said, because we have forsook the Lord our God. Go ahead.
Who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them and served them. Therefore has the Lord brought upon them all this evil.
That's why the Lord then brought on us as a nation all the evil that befalls us. Why? Because we have forsaken the Lord our God, and we doing what? We serve everybody God. Name me a religion we ain't in. Name me one. Never forget, I'm downtown. I'm walking around downtown trying to get in a fight. A Bible fight. Then I stopped. These Gentiles had long sheets on, long bald head, string of hair down to the butt. They jumping around and jumping around. I said, oh, look at them. I looked over there, there go Israel jumping too. I said, boy, we are in everything.
Everything.
Let's go to 2 Kings 17. Let's start getting Israel out the land for their disobedience on serving other gods. As he say, he's going to cast you out the land for serving these other gods. Let's see us getting cast out of the land for serving other gods. 2 Kings 17, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. 2 Kings 17 and verse 1. Because after Solomon's death, it was a split in Israel. You had Jeroboam and Rehoboam. I think Jeroboam had the 10 tribes.
Yes, he did.
Which made up the nation of Israel or Samaria. That was the northern kingdom. Northern up. That was the northern kingdom. But Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they made up the southern kingdom. So right now, what we're going to deal with, the Samaria that came under the banner of Israel. Let's deal with the northern tribes first. 2 Kings 17, and let's pick it up at verse 1. 2 Kings 17 and 1. This is the northern tribes, the 9 tribes. Go ahead and read.
In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years.
And this is around sometime 721 BC. Go ahead and read.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him.
We ain't never did right. I see why the Lord sent us in this captivity. We ain't never did right. Go ahead.
Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents.
Go ahead.
And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison.
Go ahead.
Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years.
So now he done went up to Samaria of the northern kingdom, and he have did what? He had besieged it for how many years? 3 years. Go ahead and read.
In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Tehalah, in Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes.
So now we got the 10 tribes. It go to the 9 tribes, rather. The 9 tribes is going in the captivity under who? Under the Assyrians. And around 721 BC. Go ahead and read.
For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods.
Go ahead.
And walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel.
He said we start walking in the statutes of the heathens. What heathens? The Canaanites.
That's right.
Canaanites is black people, the children of Ham. We start walking in their ordinances. Go ahead.
And of the kings of Israel which they had made.
Go ahead. That's good. Let's drop down to verse 13. Drop down to verse 13. Go ahead and read.
Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets.
He always sent the prophets and his servants to Israel. Turn from your wicked way, and the Lord won't do you no hurt. Turn from your wicked way. The Lord had compassion on his people. He studied sending his prophets to the people, but they did not turn. Go ahead and read.
Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, Turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers and which I sent to you by my servants, the prophets.
And I'm going to tell you, for you to get back in the land, you're going to have to keep these statutes and these judgments and these commandments, or far as you going is the wilderness. You will not get in the land of milk and honey. Go ahead and read.
Notwithstanding, they would not hear.
Man, notwithstanding, they didn't even hear, even though the Lord studied sending his prophets and his servants to the people, they did not hear. Go ahead and read.
But hardened their necks like to the neck of their fathers that did not believe in the Lord their God. And they rejected his statutes and his covenants that he made with their fathers.
He said they rejected his statutes and his covenants that he made with their fathers. Go ahead.
And his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed vanity and became vain, and went in after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them, that they should not do like them.
Go ahead.
And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshiped all the host of heaven, and served Baal.
Go ahead.
And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire.
You know, when we cause our sons and our daughters to pass through the fire to who? To a pagan god Molech.
That's right.
We is burning our children to a pagan god Molech. And the Lord God of Israel is sitting there looking at it. Go ahead and read.
And used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger.
Boy, we have provoked our God to anger big time.
Yes, we have.
Go ahead and read.
Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight.
He said he was so angry with the northern kingdom. What'd he do? He removed them out of his sight. Y'all going into captivity here. Go ahead and read.
There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
Who was left? He go to 9 tribes. They went into captivity. And who's the only ones left? Judah only. Only the southern tribe is left now. Now let's get them into captivity too, because they didn't do no better. Let's go into 2 Chronicles 36. Let's go into 2 Chronicles 36. Let's get all of them into captivity. 2 Chronicles 36, and we go pick it up at verse 11. That's the last king that we had over the southern tribe, or Judah, is Zedekiah. 2 Chronicles 36, and let's pick it up at verse 11. Go ahead and read.
Zedekiah was 120 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 11 years in Jerusalem.
Because he's over the southern tribe. Go ahead.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord his God.
Maybe he should have looked to see what happened to the northern tribes and figure, oh, wait a minute now. Let me learn a lesson here. My brothers that went into captivity look like I should be obedient here. But no. Verse 12 again. Go ahead.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord his God, and humbled not himself before Jeremiah the prophet, speaking from the mouth of the Lord. And he also rebelled against King Nebuchadnezzar, who had made him swear by God. But he stiffened his neck and hardened his heart from turning unto the Lord God of Israel. Moreover, all the chief of the priests and the people transgressed very much after all the abominations of the heathen.
You have the chief priests and all the people. Everybody is transgressing against the Lord their God. And you wondering why we sitting here in captivity? And everywhere anything happens to your children, they take a pound. You don't get no breaks, Israel.
We don't.
Verse 14 again. Go ahead.
Move all the chief of the priests and the people transgressed very much after all the abominations of the heathen.
Boy, we should have learned from the 9 tribes. Go ahead.
And polluted the house of the Lord, which he had hallowed in Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And the Lord God of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place.
Even the Lord had so much compassion. Boy, I bet his compassion was heavy when it came to this people right here.
Merciful God.
Yes, he is. Go ahead.
But they mocked the messengers of God.
You see what the people did? The people is mocking the messengers of God. Go ahead.
And despised his word.
And they despised his word. Go ahead.
And misused his prophet.
Go ahead.
Until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no remedy.
I can't even fix this people right here. I don't care who I send to them. I don't care what I do for them. It is no remedy for this people right here. Go ahead and read.
Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees.
It ain't no remedy? I'm going to send you into captivity. Go ahead. What verse?
Middle of 17.
Go ahead.
Who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and had no compassion upon young man or maiden, old man or him that stooped for age. He gave them all into his hand.
Boy, he gave them all into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. Go ahead and read.
And all the vessels of the house of God, great and small, and the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king and of his princes, All these he brought to Babylon.
Go ahead.
And they burnt the house of God.
They burnt down the house of God. Go ahead.
And break down the wall of Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And burnt all the palaces thereof with fire. And destroyed all the goodly vessels thereof.
Go ahead.
And them that had escaped from the sword carried it away to Babylon, where they were servants to him and his sons until the reign of the kingdom of Persia.
So go ahead and read.
To fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had enjoyed her Sabbaths. For as long as she lay desolate, she kept Sabbath, to fulfill 70 years.
So the southern tribes, when Nebuchadnezzar took the 3 tribes out, the southern tribes, they was only supposed to be in the captivity for 70 years, to after the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. When the Medes and the Persians took over, Israel went back home. And we gonna show you that they went back home. But wait a minute now, what about Esau?
Right.
We got the 12 tribes, all 12 of them right here is in captivity here, people. But what about Esau? If Esau is the white man, I'm quite sure he came somewhere from Europe. Let's see where Esau's homeland is. Let's go in Genesis 36. Let's hone on in on our twin brother Esau now. Let's see where his homeland is. Genesis 36, and we go pick it up at verse 1. What about our twin brother? Where he at? Where did he go? Is it some kind of identity theft? Genesis 36, and we go pick it up at verse 1. Genesis 36, and we go pick it up at verse 1. Let's see what Esau's land is. And we're going to see what the Lord going to do to his land. 36 and 1, go ahead and read.
Now these are the generations of Esau, who was Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anan, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite.
Let's drop down to verse 8. Go ahead and read. Drop down to verse 8. Go ahead.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
You mean Esau, where is his land? His land is Mount Seir. Not nowhere in Western Europe. And I did a little search. Where is Mount Seir at? Mount Seir is right around Jerusalem, people. It's right around Jerusalem. That's what Mount Seir is. And ain't nowhere in Western Europe,
nope,
somewhere that he could be the white man. Verse 8 again. Go ahead and read.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
Go ahead.
And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
You mean to tell me where's Esau's land? Esau's land is Mount Seir. Let's make sure we understand where his land at. Let's go to Joshua, the 24th chapter. Just make sure we understand where Esau's land is. Joshua 24. And we go pick it up at verse 3. We just trying to make sure we know where Esau's land is. That's all. We gonna run them down. And we gonna put Esau right in the land of Jerusalem. Because it's been identity theft. And he's the one who did it. Joshua 24, and let's pick it up at verse 3. Joshua 24 and verse 3. Go ahead and read.
And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him throughout all the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed and gave him Isaac.
Go ahead.
And I gave unto Isaac Jacob and Esau.
We seen that at the birth, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And I gave unto Isaac, Jacob, and Esau. Go ahead.
And I gave unto Esau Mount Seir to possess it. But Jacob and his children went down into Egypt.
So what is Esau's land? Esau's land is what? Mount Seir. That's where Esau come from. That's his homeland. But let's take a look and see what the Lord gonna say about Mount Seir. Let's go into Ezekiel 35. Let's see what the Lord is gonna say by the mouth of Ezekiel about Mount Seir. Ezekiel 35, and we go pick it up at verse 1. Ezekiel 35 and verse 1. Let's see what he gonna say about Mount Seir, what he gonna do to it. 35 and 1, Ezekiel. I got to slow up a little bit. I got to get a little time.
Get a little time, bro.
Yeah. Ezekiel 35, and let's pick it up at verse 1. Let's see what he gonna do to Mount Seir. Go ahead and read.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it.
He said, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. This is our twin brother land, Esau. You finna prophesy against his land right now. Go ahead and read.
And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste.
Wait a minute, what verse you at?
That was the end of 3.
He's saying, say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. He against the land here. And I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Go ahead.
I will lay thy cities waste.
He said, telling Esau, look, I'm going to lay your cities waste, Esau. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Go ahead.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Because Esau that had a perpetual hatred against Jacob. That's why he said, hey, the days of mourning for my father's at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Yes, sir.
This hatred been going on since we was in the womb. Since we was in the womb, people. That's how long this fight been going on. But we don't even know who we fight. You taking punches and don't even know where it's coming from.
That's right.
Verse 5 again. Go ahead.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
When you had an end, especially this happened in 70 AD right here.
Right.
That's when they chased us down. They was cutting our throats and everything, getting everybody out the land. Go ahead and read.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood.
But hey, he lived by the sword, don't he? That's why the Lord say, I'm going to prepare you, Esau, in the blood. Go ahead.
And blood shall pursue thee.
I don't care where you go. In Western Europe, blood pursue him. He in the land, blood pursue him. Everywhere this man then went, blood pursue him. And that's what make him look like he the real Israelite. Go ahead and read. What verse?
Middle of 6.
Go ahead.
If thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Go ahead.
Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate.
He said, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate. Go ahead.
And cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth.
Go ahead.
And I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword.
Go ahead.
And I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know I am the Lord.
Let's go into a history book, bruh. What's the name of that history book? I want you to pronounce it, because they'll laugh at me if I do it.
The sarcophagus.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The sarcophagus of an ancient civilization.
This is about Esau and Edom. This whole book is about our twin brother. Go ahead and, wait, page what?
365.
365, yeah. Now, this is what happened when the Lord made Edom. When he put his hand on Edom and made his land desolate, and sent him into captivity, we need to know, well, what did he go then? After the Lord made his cities waste and desolate. Go ahead and read, bro.
The history of the Idumeans. Shortly after Jerusalem's fall and Judah's exile to Babylon in 586 BC.
That's when Nebuchadnezzar came down on Israel in 586 BC by Nebuchadnezzar. Go ahead.
The Edomites migrated for some reason from their particular home in Mount Seir to southern Judah.
Wait a minute. For some reason, shortly after the fall of Judah in 586 BC, the Edomites, for some strange reason, migrated where? Down to southern Jerusalem. Because when he got down there, remember, Nebuchadnezzar had carried us into captivity in 586 BC. And this sometime around the 6th century, here we go, the Lord had Esau to migrate down into southern Jerusalem. Go ahead and read.
And the adjacent portions of the Negev. And from that time onward, they were known as the Idumeans.
That's who the Greeks gave them their name, Idumea. Go ahead and read.
An analogy, it will be remembered, took place in the history of Israel. For prior to Israel's captivity by Nebuchadnezzar, their history is usually spoken of as the history of the Hebrews. Whereas after their captivity, we are accustomed to speak of their history as the history of the Jews.
It ain't no more history of the Israelites or the Hebrews. That's why every one of them call themselves Jews. Because what happened? They went down into southern Jerusalem where Judah was living in southern Jerusalem. So when they got there, they called themselves what? We the Jews now. It ain't no more Naphtali. It ain't no more Issachar. It ain't no more Dan. We are all Jews now. Go ahead and read.
It was the Greeks who gave the Edomites their new name and spoke of their new home in southern Judah as Idumea.
Wait a minute. Spoke of their new home where?
As southern Judah as Idumea.
You mean to tell me Esau, he went down into southern Jerusalem? Because when he got there, hey, you in captivity, ain't nothing left in the land but the poorest of the people. They couldn't defend themselves. So here come Esau, and he coming right in the land, in the southern Jerusalem. Go ahead and read.
The latter occurs once in the New Testament in Mark chapter 3 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
Their migration was apparently due to the northern movement of the desert Arabs known as the Nabateans, who suddenly emerged out of the wilds of Central Arabia. For a long time, they threatened Edomite territory, pushing steadily nearer and nearer in the direction of Mount Seir, until at some time during the 6th century BC, they succeeded in expelling the sons of Esau from their mountain fatnesses and took possession of the rock city of Petra.
Wait a minute, you mean it was an Arab tribe called the Nabateans? They was warned against Mount Seir for a long time, and they steady pushing closer and closer to Mount Seir. To sometime in the 6th century BC, they expelled the children of Esau out of Mount Seir and chased them where? Right down in the southern Jerusalem. And when they got down there, wasn't hardly none of us in the land, because Nebuchadnezzar had took us into captivity. So now they get down there, and this is their new homeland. So who in your land? Your twin brother Esau.
No sour
Yes, we will. Well, when we repent, to change. Lord, I pray every day. Keep me in your way. I will change. In the twinkling of an eye, we'll be you in the sky. We'll never die. Change. In the image of your son. The victory is won. Lord, I'm so grateful. Gonna change the way that I walk. And I walk. Gonna change the way that I talk. Gonna change the things that I do. Just like you will change. Change the way that I pray. And I pray. Gonna change the things that I say. Lord Jesus, I will obey. Until that day will change. Change the things that I see. And I see. Gonna treat my brother like me. And I see